皆さん、こんにちは。マイルストーンカナダの宝田あゆみです。本日は、私たちの提携先である公立カレッジ、アルゴンクインカレッジのキャシーさんに来ていただいております。Hello, Cathy. How are you today?
Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for your time today. We are very excited to have you here and to get to know about your college.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's an honor to present and introduce Algonquin College to our viewers.
Thank you very much. So before we start our presentation, could you please tell us about yourself?
Sure, for sure. So my name is Cathy Lee. I work at Algonquin College. I've been working at Algonquin College since 2018. And I'm responsible for marketing and recruitment and partnerships in countries such as Philippines, Korea, and Japan. So, and I've also been working in the education field for about 15 years now. And living in Ottawa since 2018, I think Ottawa is a great city for students and families to live in. And it's a very diverse, multicultural city. Not many people know about Ottawa. Students may be more familiar with Vancouver or Toronto, but Ottawa, as you know, is the capital city of Canada, and it's a great place for students to live in.
Thank you so much. I personally live in Toronto right now, and then I still haven't gotten a chance to visit Ottawa. So I'm also excited to know about Ottawa today. So please take away and then please tell us some more about your college.
Sure, of course. So as I briefly mentioned, Algonquin College is in the capital city of Canada, which is Ottawa. Ottawa is located about 5 hours away from Toronto by drive and about 2 hours from Montreal. So we're sort of located in the border of Ontario and Quebec's province. So, and because we are the capital city, lots of people in Ottawa work for the government and also speak both official languages of Canada, which is English and French. However, our college, Algonquin, is a English-speaking college, and all our programs are delivered in English. We also have campuses in Pembroke and Perth, which is our smaller cities outside of Ottawa. So we have about 1,000 students studying in Pembroke campus, about 2 hours north of Ottawa, and about 250 students in Perth, which is an hour south of Ottawa. As the capital city, Ottawa is the fourth largest cosmopolitan city in Canada. So after Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Ottawa is the next largest. It was named by the United Nations as one of the best cities in the world to live in for quality of life. It has the highest educated population per capita. As I mentioned earlier, we have lots of government workers, federal, provincial employees living in Ottawa. That's why we also have a very strong, stable economy and job market. Another industry sector is we have a very large technology hub and IT industry in Ottawa. So we have over 1,900 private IT companies operating out of Ottawa. And we have a very safe, clean environment, and a population of about 1.3 million. So as I mentioned, it's a great place to live in, one of the best tech hub in Canada, where there's lots of employment opportunities. It was also voted as #1 cities for students and new immigrants to settle in because it has one of the lowest cost of living among major cities in Canada and even all of North America, because our housing market, so the real estate, is a little more affordable than in Vancouver or Toronto.
So you said that in Algonquin College, so everything is taught in English. But as a city, a lot of people can speak both languages, which are English and French. Some students, would that be okay if they can't speak French?
Yes, it's totally okay not to be able to speak French. Everything is operated in English. It's we're in Ontario province, so it's English is kind of the main language for schools as well. For kids all the way to high school, they can choose to go to school in English only or both if they want to. So there's lots of options. It's a great environment if someone wants to learn French, but they don't necessarily have to speak French.
Okay, so when it comes to job hunting, it's not going to be a disadvantage for Japanese students if they don't speak French.
No, not necessarily a disadvantage, but there are definitely more options if you know how to speak French, because then that way students can have access to a lot of federal government jobs that may require both languages. But even if you speak only one, that's not a problem. Like my husband does not speak a word of French, and he has no problem living here and finding jobs. So
okay, thanks. Sounds good. Thank you.
So as we spoke, again, Algonquin College is the English-speaking college in Ottawa. So there's two other universities, one is both bilingual, French and English, and the other one, Carleton University, is an English-speaking university. And then we have Algonquin College, which is the only college in Ottawa. We're also one of 11 Canadian polytechnics. We offer a lot of career-oriented programs, so over 190 programs that are really focused on students getting jobs. And we have over 3,800 international students from 90 different countries. So lots of students from all over the world, they're coming to study at Algonquin College.
What are 5 top nationalities among international students?
Great question. Yes. So the top 5 in numbers, I would say, are students from India, China, Philippines. We have lots of students from Nigeria, Colombia, Brazil. So those are kind of top 5 or 6 countries where our students are mainly coming from.
What about Japanese students?
So Japanese students, we don't have very many. So out of, I said almost close to 4,000 students, right? Currently, we have about 10 Japanese students studying at Algonquin. So it's a very large school with very little number of Japanese students at the moment. But we're, of course, hoping to welcome more students from Japan.
Okay, so that would be a great learning environment for Japanese students, that's for sure.
Yes, for sure, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so a lot of Algonquin College's programs are focused on real-world experience and real work experience. So we're very much employment focused, and we offer programs that include hands-on learning experience as part of the program curriculum. So over 90% of our programs have some component of field work, such as co-op, internship, or placement. It could be applied research or even volunteer opportunities. So we call them work integrated learning experience. And, co-ops are usually paid, and they're for a whole duration of an entire semester. So usually it's a 1 semester co-op and they are paid. But even programs that don't have co-op, we offer lots of placement and internship that students must complete in order to graduate from their program. So they graduate with lots of experience working in the real world. And 90% of our Algonquin College graduates can find jobs within 6 months of graduation. So that's a great statistics. We're also connected to research. So we're one of the colleges that have a big research program at the college level. We have 6 research center, and we're number 1 in Canada for a number of students involved in research. And this is very important because by being involved in research, students are often involved in real company experience. They actually get projects from companies that are a partner with us, and they get to learn from doing the things that actually happen in the real workplace. Solving issues or providing improvements to those companies along with the help of our faculty. Also, we're very much connected to employers. Employers will come into the college, host sometimes guest lectures. We will also have career fairs on campus. Some students may go for employer site visits. Often our faculty are still, they're teaching and they're still employed in the industry. So they're doing both teaching and working at the same time. So they're very much involved in their company, and having students often do real projects or be employed at those industry after graduation. And our programs also undergo annual curriculum review to make sure that it is meeting the needs of the employees. Mm-hmm. So as I briefly mentioned earlier, Ottawa is a tech hub. So we have a large number of technology IT companies located in Ottawa. It's just outskirts of Ottawa in a kind of a suburb called Canada. And we have a big IT workforce, 77,000 people working in the industry. And this is also one of the reasons why our programs related to IT, digital media, such as, computer programming, computer systems technician, cybersecurity, or programs such as interactive media design. Those are very, very popular programs among international students and also among Japanese students as well. Mm. So you can see a few examples of our industry partners. So aside from IT industry, I've mentioned digital media is also a strong one, and life science is also a very strong industry in Ottawa. Lots of people are employed in either pharmaceutical or hospitals providing care to patients or involved in research. So, and the other industry would be aerospace and defense and software. So again, these are all Ottawa-based companies, and students have lots of employment opportunities in these companies that are worldwide and very well known. Okay. So I can briefly explain a little bit about the credentials that are offered at Algonquin, because this may be slightly different from universities that we see in Asia or in Japan. So Algonquin College offers 4-year degrees as well as 2-year diplomas and 3-year diplomas, and also graduate certificate programs. So graduate certificate programs are a little different than masters, because the students that graduate from the graduate certificate programs may not necessarily go on and do a PhD, but they will be more focused on finding employment in their field of expertise. Many of our international students come to us for 2-year diploma programs. And I would say we have the largest number, in this category, the 2-year diploma programs. Some students may choose to continue and do a bachelor's program, but I think most students, they come to us for the 2-year diploma programs or graduate certificate programs. Mm-hmm. Because we have such a large number of program areas and programs specifically, it will be very boring if I, listed all of them to you today's session. But I can mention a few that are quite popular among international students, and while also showing some facilities and pictures of our campus at the same time. Mm-hmm. So this picture that you're seeing here is our Center for Construction Excellence. So this building was built so that all the structures are shown from the inside of the building, where you can see there's a glass floor where you can see the concrete structure underneath. So it's almost like a living lab that the whole building is like a lab. We have architecture technician program, 2-year programs delivered here, construction engineering program, civil engineering program as well. So lots of programs related to construction and architecture are delivered through this building. This is an example of a Cisco networking lab that you are seeing here. We have it's part of our School of Advanced Technology. So in advanced technology, we deliver programs such as computer programming, again, systems technician. We also have aircraft maintenance program, Biotechnology program is also part of advanced technology field. This is another lab where you're seeing it's a lab where students get to work on big trucks and diesel equipments. So we have a program in motive power technician and diesel and truck equipment technician as well. So this is an example of the lab. In our School of Media and Design, one of our most famous and popular program, I would say, is animation. So, and this, yes, we are one of the best animation school in Canada. And this is again an example of an animation lab. Students will work with the latest industry software and technology to create 2D and 3D animation. We also have a program in the School of Media, game development and graphic design. So those are also very popular among international students because there's lots of jobs out there in the field of design and media. Here is a game development simulation lab. So students work with virtual reality sort of developing in this lab to kind of create moving characters and such for their game development program. This is a photo of our photography studio. So we do have a 2-year photography program as well. So here's another program area offered by our School of Media and Design. This is another program that's quite different, I would say. We have a horticultural program. So it's a 2-year program where students learn how to design gardens, landscaping, or hardscaping. So this is a sort of a lab / garden for our students. This is a picture of our early childhood education lab. The early childhood education program is delivered through our School of Community and Health. So all our health programs such as practical nursing, dental hygiene, massage therapy, and as well as programs such as social service worker, early childhood education is delivered through that school. This particular picture is a early childhood center on campus. So we have a center on campus and students can do their placements here or at other childcare centers across the city, sometimes at schools, public schools and daycare centers. This ACE is also a very popular program among international students and Japanese students. This picture is our massage clinic. So we have a massage therapist program as well, where you can actually become a registered massage therapist in Canada. Also a very good program because that has a lot of demand and also good entry pay for that job. In our School of Hospitality and Tourism, we have a hairstyling program. So that's a diploma program, a 2-year diploma program in hairstyling, as well as a 2-year program in esthetician. So this is our Algonquin College spa, salon, and boutique, which is run by our faculty and students. It's open to the public, so someone can book an appointment and have their hair done. So we call these learning enterprises for students to gain real experience with clients. So here is another picture of our hairstyling lab. Students will each have a station where they can work and gain skills during their class. And here is a picture of our skincare and body treatment lab. Mostly students in our esthetician programs would use these facilities. Next is a picture of our culinary lab. So in our School of Hospitality, aside from the sort of the wellness program that we just described, culinary and baking, pastry management is also another big area. And there's lots of job opportunities outside in Ottawa for chefs or bakers, or the hotel industry in general, because we have a big tourism industry in Ottawa because of being the capital city. So this is sort of an example of an industrial sized kitchen where our students get to do their placements and practice their skills that they learn in class. This is an example of one of our baking classes. So students can work with their making their chocolate or cake on these stations. So each station will be equipped with their sort of own equipment like mixers and such, and they'll also have their each individual screens where they can see the teachers kind of performing or making the assignment and kind of repeat and learn from the faculty demonstration. We also have this is a little new, we have Algonquin College in Toronto. So Algonquin College has partnered with the CDI College, which is a private college, to deliver Algonquin College programs to international students in the great GTA. So we have a campus in Mississauga and North York, because there's lots of international students in the GTA area. Students can still choose to remain in Toronto if they wish to and obtain Algonquin College credential. So students will be enrolled directly with Algonquin College. They will be learning the curriculum and credential of Algonquin College, but they will be delivered location-wise in Toronto and delivered by the CDI College faculty. So students will have, again, North York or Mississauga campus to choose from. And they will be graduating with Algonquin College credentials, so diploma. And they will also be eligible for postgraduate work permit after graduation, just like if they studied at Ottawa campus or other of our Algonquin College campus. Mm-hmm. So not all programs are delivered in Toronto, but so far, so these are the list of programs available in Mississauga or North York campus. You can find these on our website as well. We will be adding more programs, so so it's best to visit our website to kind of see the most current program offerings. So I think that's the end of our presentation. Do you have any questions, Saka?
Oh, thank you so much for all your information. I'm sure as a Japanese student, it's like, wow, your college is almost impossible for Japanese because all the different field of studies are available at one college. And yes. It's fascinating, and I'm sure. So these programs that you just introduced us are all available for international students to take.
That's correct. Yes, these programs are all available, and if I may share, maybe I can show you our program availability website where students can find all our available programs and sort of their availability by intake and by campus. So the good thing about this website is you can choose to see just the diploma programs, and you can also choose the intake that you want to come in. So if a student wants to see all the fall programs, they can take a look at all these programs available, and they can see which one is waitlisted and which one is open. So it's very easy to sort of find out what programs are offered where, like which campus, as well as if it's open or not.
Mm-hmm. It's very easy to keep track on what's available for our students. So when they decided to go to an Algonquin College, and then first day of school, and I'm sure they're all nervous, and maybe they get lost easily in a big facility like yours.
That's true.
And then we think that they would feel like, okay, what can I expect? Okay, what kind of student services can we get other than just getting a lecture from their faculties?
Yes, that's a very important question. So Algonquin College has a big international education center. So I'm part of the international education staff as well. And we have a big team that supports students, so on the support side. So we have international student advisors who are able to give them advice on, for example, how to apply for a postgraduate work permit, or how to renew their study permit if they need to. We have often seminars or information sessions on how to apply for SIN number, or how to get a job in Canada, how to write their resume. So there's lots of services like that students can take advantage of. And we also offer a student mentorship program where other international student mentors will be helping other students get adjusted and to find their ways at the college, and also to participate in a lot of the social activities that's happening at the college. As you mentioned, it's a big college, so it may be hard for students to find friends or find other international students even. So we hold a lot of activities for students to kind of settle in and to mingle with other students as well. We do have peer tutoring available for students. So if a student is struggling in some field, or if a student wants to have some help with reviewing their writing, because a lot of our international students may not speak English as their first language. So if they want to get support in those areas, they can always go to the peer tutoring center and access those services.
So are those services free of charge?
Correct. Yes, those services are free of charge, and they can book an appointment and take advantage of those.
So any assistance that they
correct. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a very good information for international students like Japanese students, because yes, it's intimidating first, and they don't know anything about Canadian college, and it's a big college. And yes, once they know someone from other country also trying to achieve their goal at Algonquin College, I'm sure they feel much more comfortable. And then, they become, I'm sure, very good friends. Yes, so then they feel like, living and then studying together would be
correct.
Option for them.
I'll just share quickly my screen, and I'll show you an example of. So what you see here is our current students page at the International Education Center, and this is an event calendar that we have online. So you can see the type of events that's upcoming. We have employer speaker series, so people in the hospitality industry will come and speak about how to get a job in a hotel or industry related. We have tax information for international students. We have professional communications for, not only students from Japan, but many students that may not know how to communicate properly in a workplace environment, or even how to do a job search or how to write a resume. So those type of skills can be obtained while they're studying. And these are all free events that's happening. So we have finding a home. Sometimes student wants to change their homestay or find a new home. So career readiness workshop, CRA, or how to protect yourself against fraud, or even how to apply for how to do a tax return, for example. So there's lots of activities that's happening on campus all the time. So, or even just like a coffee break, meeting other students, right? So we really try to make our students feel at home and not to feel isolated or intimidated.
It's nice. We're in February right now, but you have older activities already planned ahead up to April. So
yes, we do.
Yes, can easily make plans ahead of time.
Yes.
That's very nice, and they can see all the useful information session happening for them. Oh, that's very nice. So regarding living in Ottawa, I'm sure you have student residencies, as well as I believe you have a homestay option available for international college students.
Yes, that's correct. So we have a residence on campus. So basically it's located on campus, 5-minute walk from the main building. So students can apply to live on residence. Our residence is quite popular, so we recommend students to apply as early as possible when the application opens. And then we also have a homestay option. So homestay is run by a third-party company. So not necessarily by Algonquin, but by a professional homestay company who are vetting the homes and making sure that the host homes are safe and acceptable for students. So students can apply for those homestay options through our website. So we have a housing website on our international center. and students can go on there and submit an application, indicate the type of home or preference or any allergies that they may have, so we can match the student to the home.
So can we access to that homestay website even before they decided to study at Algonquin College?
Yes, they can access it. It's on our website, so they can go in and take a look at the fees as well, just so that they have all the information prior to applying.
Okay, sounds great. So they can choose either student residency or homestay, or they can even find share house.
That's right. There's lots of shared houses around the campus. So I would say a lot of our international students, they may do homestays for a few months at the beginning just to get settled and to know the city. But for long term, many students choose to do shared houses. So, it will be a house with 4 or 3 other students, and they would be sharing the house, and each individual student would have a room, and they'll share the common space. So that's very, very common in Ottawa, that students live in shared houses.
Okay, so it's easy for them to find shared house.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And then, so once they started living in Ottawa, I'm sure a lot of people think that, okay, how can I commute to school they live outside of the college, or where can I go shopping, grocery shopping? So do they usually use public transportation?
Yes, that's a great question. So unlike Toronto, we don't have a sort of TTC like subway, but we have a very big network of bus. So a bus network, as well as a LRT, so like a light rail train. So, and when a student pays their tuition and they are enrolled, they will receive a bus pass, and this is included in the tuition fee. Okay. So it's part of the tuition fee, just like how they're charged health insurance, and it's part of its mandatory fee. So they will get their bus pass card as well as their sort of Algonquin College student card. So there are 2 cards, and then with the bus pass, they can use the bus anytime. It's just like the TTC pass. It's unlimited, and they can use to take the bus. And most of our college is located sort of in a central location called sort of baseline station. So the station is a big station where there's lots of buses coming sort of to the station. So, it may take 35 minutes or 40 minutes or even closer, depending on where you live. But students, it's quite normal that they commute by bus up around 35 to 40 minutes.
Is the bus available even at night? Like after?
Yes, it is available. I'm not sure how late though, if it's available like all night or some. It depends also on the bus route. Some bus routes may be available like longer than others. But the public transportation system is quite good in Ottawa. It's easy to access like groceries or restaurants because right next to our campus there's a big shopping mall where we have we have like the big grocery stores like Sobeys or Loblaws. They're all here close by, and lots of food options as well, and lots of part-time job options too. Like international students, they find part-time jobs around the city and also on campus or near the campus. There's lots of part-time job options in sort of the entry-level jobs, right? Like the food industry or hospitality industry.
Is it also easy to get access to Asian groceries?
Yes, we do have a couple of Asian groceries. We have the biggest one is TNT. I'm sure we have TNT in Toronto as well. So similar size, very big grocery store where you can access most food. We also have smaller shops where they sell sort of more specialty Japanese groceries or Korean groceries. A few of them, like they will often carry both, like Korean and Japanese, and sometimes Chinese or Filipino groceries items as well. So there's a few options in Ottawa. Aside from big TNT, I think there's about 3 or 4 smaller markets. Mhm.
So far, sounds like really good to live in Ottawa. Do you think what would be the challenge for Japanese students?
I would say maybe because as I said, we only have a handful of Japanese students starting each term. So right now there's about 10 students maybe studying on campus. So if a student really wants to connect with other Japanese students or really have that connection, it might be a little harder than if they were in Vancouver or Toronto, where there's lots of other Japanese students, right? But if they really want to kind of immerse in the Canadian culture and have interactions with other students, other international students, as well as domestic students, that's really the experience that they can expect here at Algonquin. There's lots of students from everywhere, including domestic students, and so they'll be able to kind of have an immersive experience. Ottawa is also great for students who are very active or looking for outdoors. So we are not very far from the ski hills. You know, you can drive 20 minutes and get to a ski hill. Winter sports, there's plenty of chances to do winter sports, cross country or skating, or there's lots of trails. Hiking is huge also in Ottawa. Water sports as well, like paddle boarding and stuff like that. So lots of outdoor activities to do. So students who are very active and that want to experience sort of the Canadian outdoors, I think it's a very good place to be. And it's not too far from, like, we are still a big city. We're not in a remote area, right? So they can still experience all the cultural things too, right? Like there's the museums here, the National Art Center. So there's lots of culture as well at the same time. So they get the best of, I guess, both worlds.
Yeah. And I think another question we might have often is, how is the weather like in Ottawa?
Yes.
Could you tell us how you?
Yes. Very important question, because that might be a huge adjustment for many of our students, especially if they're not familiar with the long winter or very cold winter, right? So I would say, if I compare to Toronto, our winter in Ottawa here is maybe slightly longer, and there's lots more snow. There's more snow and a little colder than Toronto, obviously, and much colder than Vancouver for sure. But if you want to compare kind of Toronto, there's a bit of difference in terms of like how cold it gets and how much snow we get. But I think the really colder days, you would get those like in January, February, a few days where it actually will go to like -30.
But with wind and chill, right?
That's right. Yeah. But that's not every day, and it's not normal to get that every day. So right now it's 2 degrees outside, so it's really great, right? So and then 5 days ago it was maybe -10, but like it goes up and down, and it's quite manageable, I would say, to live here, as long as you dress warm for the weather. I think students will find it very, very good to experience the winter here.
Yes, and I always tell them, like, inside, whenever they go, it's pretty warm.
Oh yes, that's a big difference too. Like inside, it's very warm. You can wear short sleeve. Don't worry about like being cold indoors. Houses, school buildings, everything is very, very well heated. And Algonquin College, because we're a big campus, all our buildings are connected through either bridges so they're connected indoors. So once a student gets to like one building to another, they don't have to put their jackets back on. They can just put it in the locker and then just walk around to their classrooms with even short sleeve. It's not cold at all on campus.
Oh, that's good. They can stay inside and they don't worry about the weather outside.
That's correct. Yes.
So through the presentation, you told us about some popular programs. Could you please sum up some popular programs among international students, or any recommendation that you have?
Sure. Of course. So a lot of programs in our IT areas, like computer programming, computer technician, interactive media management, those are quite popular. Programs in hospitality, like culinary, baking, Even tourism is also very popular. Early childhood education is another one. In design and media, I would say our animation, graphic design program is also very popular. What else? I think I've covered most of the kind of the top 10 ones. Yeah.
And most of the programs includes co-op. And,
yes.
And personally, I took a college program that included co-op, and then it was very helpful for me to find an actual job upon graduation. So I think that would be very beneficial for international students to
That's correct.
Have actual work experience while they are enrolled in college.
Yes, that's very true. I recently had a student who graduated from interactive media management, and she did a co-op program as part of her program. She did a co-op, and she was able to find a job right after graduation. And I think she was going back to one of the co-op placements that she had done. Decided to hire her after graduation. And then she was able to go back to that company. So, that sometimes happens when there's an opening in the company and the student had a very good experience there. They may want to go back and be employed there full time.
Yeah, I believe that some international students, including Japanese students, they are worried if they can even find a job after graduation, although they can get the postgrad work permit. But I think the co-op would be very practical and also useful for them to find an actual job.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Yes. So once they take 2-year program, they can get the 3-year work permit, which is called the postgrad work permit. So have you seen anybody who got a job and then after that they immigrate to Canada?
Yeah, for sure. We see lots of students that want to do that. Most students will get a 3-year work permit, even though their goal may not be to immigrate. After they graduate, they always get asked for the they get the 3-year work permit so they can get the work experience in Canada. That's really a big goal for many, many of our students. So, and then, they would work in the field for 2 years. They have a, 3-year work permit, but after about 2 years or even a year of full-time work, they may decide to apply for permanent residency if they meet all the sort of the eligibility criteria. As you may know, it really depends on each individual person's points. But age and
job.
That's correct. Yes, but we see a lot of students that want to do that and that have successfully done it to obtain permanent residency after graduating from the college.
Because it's very nice to see 90% of graduates they got a job, and that includes international students. So I think your college is doing great.
Yes, I think the best advice, I guess, for students would be to really look for opportunities even while you are studying. I always encourage students not to wait until the very last minute to start interacting with other students or even faculty or your placement people to really kind of start looking early, because 2 years goes by very quickly, right? So if you wait until the last kind of semester to start doing that, it may be very you may be feeling rushed, right? So it's better to start early and also to practice your communication skills, especially if your English is not your native language. Of course, you'll feel very anxious about going to an interview or even submitting a resume. You may not know, is this the right way? How do we do it in Canada, right? So really actively participate in those information sessions, career seminars, job fairs, right from the beginning when you start your program, and to kind of practice those skills. I think you really become better by practicing, right? So
yes, don't be shy of asking questions, and it's okay to ask questions.
For sure, yes, just be very, very proactive and be actively looking and talking with others. I know that's the advice I give to all of my students, coming from not only Japan, but like from Korea, for everywhere, especially students from Asia may be a little shy. They may feel like, oh, I can't really ask that question, or they may feel very shy. But it's very important to actively pursue those opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you so much for the great advice. That was very nice to hear.
Thank you.
We see lots of international students from all over the world. So yes, such a practical, advice. Thank you so much. So lastly, do you have any things that you want to say to your future Japanese students?
Well, I would love to welcome all our Japanese students on campus, also to grow the community, our student community here. And as I mentioned earlier, please actively participate in everything that we have to offer on campus, because this really, the more you participate, the more you gain from the whole study abroad experience. So that's what I would really like to suggest students.
Oh, thank you. And Cathy, you also accept students to take a campus tour.
Correct. Yes. Students, yes, that's correct. If you're interested in seeing our beautiful campus, you're always welcome to contact Taka, and she can help arrange a meeting with me, and I can give a campus tour to show you around.
Oh, thank you so much. That would be very exciting to see all the actual campuses, and then they can picture easily how it would be like, once they start studying at your college.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for your time. We learned a lot of things about your college, and I want to go back to college actually. Listening to your presentation. So we hope that we can send you more Japanese students, and then hope our student will be very happy living in Ottawa and studying in Ottawa.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you next time.
Okay, thank you so much, Cathy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.